comes to hiring across regions, because we all know that living in Hong Kong is different than living in other areas of Asia or other areas of the world where the cost of living could be very different. So how are companies handling that challenge?
The compensation structure, deriving a compensation structure across similar roles across various countries. I mean, it's pretty tough. So we at Multiplier, what we do is we establish region-wise pay bands. So we first consolidate all the similar roles across countries, and then region-wise we arrive at the pay bands. That's one method we follow. And in some of the countries, we also follow the tiered method, like tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities. Based on the cost of living, we decide on what is the correct pay scale that would really help an employee to make a decent living. And of course, we also look at the salary range, because that gives us a lot of flexibility and the adaptability to adjust it according to the cost of living in that particular country. So it's a mix and match of this. Then, as we talk, it would not be a standardized approach. It differs from role to role and country to country. So we also consider a lot of these factors while arriving at salary which could cut across all countries for similar roles.
So your biggest piece of advice really is to be flexible on that, knowing that it can't be just one hard and fast rule, because there are areas of the world where it will break that rule. So being able to be flexible on that is your biggest piece of advice. Okay.
One other thing I would throw in there with this is, while I do think as a software and service industry, we could be doing a lot better in providing compensation benchmarking to organizations. I think that there are tools out there that people can use. There's consulting groups that people can use. I would definitely, if you're really, really lost, which some of our clients can tend to be when they're just entering global markets, it can be really helpful to bring in some salary experts. You don't want to price yourself out, but you also don't want to overpay and potentially alienate other people in your organization by overcompensating certain regions versus others. So I think this is a case where I would definitely recommend some if you're hiring enough people, to make the investment to bring someone in to help you with that.
To know your benchmarks, essentially, know what that looks like externally, so that you're good, and internally, as you mentioned, across the inside of the company as well. Good.
Yeah,
point.
We're fortunate. We have Menaka and lots of operational experts that process lots of payrolls and can see these things, but a lot of these customers coming in may not have as well. They may be a little more lost. So there could be some good players that you can bring in, like Radford and other ones that you could bring in to help with this.
I know we're kind of cutting in wherever needed to and editing, but I was just going to say, just on Michael's point, I think that really is important. And if you look with the EU transparency coming into play over the next couple of years or so, it's going to become even more important to get that right. And I think if the world doesn't think that the APAC Transparency Act is going to follow, or the Australasia Pay Transparency Act, I think we're going to end up with a global kind of, way to approach this properly. And that is something that businesses, along with the likes of the firms that Michael's mentioned, but consultants, fractional experts, the people are really seriously needing to look at how they are paying people, why they are paying people, and getting it right. It's going to become more important than ever.
I'm thinking about one of the hazards of that, Michael, and the companies who are doing this, who are growing globally, are often doing it quickly. It's not this very long term. We need this quickly because we've got this key milestone, this key priority, this key objective from the business perspective. And if you just put something out there and we'll change that later, you can't go backwards on pay. Not easily, and not without losing good people. So, hey, sorry, we accidentally paid you 20% more than we should have. We're going to reduce it next pay period. You're going to be looking for someone else, like that Ian mentioned earlier on the incorrect payroll.
Good luck.
Probably a higher hit rate on that one.